Hey folks, how you doing on Sunday before Thanksgiving? Good to see you all. Let me know if you can hear the guitar. As well as the voice. Hopefully you can hear both. And we'll get going on the backing track. And today we're going to talk about blues tricks, right? Yeah, we're going to talk about some blues tricks. And let me say hi to some folks who are, oh no. You know, I'll tell you something. There is a product out there that I came close to endorsing, and I'm not going to now. And the reason is because it has torn up my favorite guitar strap that I've had for 40 years. And unfortunately, I thought it was going to be great, and now I'm going to have to wear it all the time. It's called the Rock Lock. It is great at going on and off, and it doesn't damage the guitar, but it does do some damage to old leather straps. So I'll just say that. Anyway, at least that's what I found. Maybe your mileage may vary, but I kind of wish I didn't have to put on the old Grolsch thing now, but I do. All right. Let's say hi to some folks and do an announcement, and then we'll get to playing, and then we'll do a little mini lesson on my favorite blues tricks. So hello, Matt and Chris. Always great to see you. Ron Shack, hello. Billy Plains, hello. And Michael Schaefer, hello, from Arkansas. Good to see you. Alfred Charles Greiner, good to see you. Joe, hope you're feeling well in Tacoma, Washington. Jimmy Marshall. Jimmy, I like how you spelled it, and Marshall. Playing the Marshall, love it. Oh, it's your stuff. Okay, cool. Thanks, buddy. Really appreciate it. Myrtle Beach, all right. Earl Snyder, Bob Nickerson. Good to see you, Bob. Itzek, good to see you. Kid Comet, hello. All right. We'll get to playing a little bit. Gary Book, hello to you. Turn up my volume, your volume? I don't know. Do I need to turn up volume? It's already redlining. I think I'm going to not do that. I think you better do it on your side. Sorry. See if I can turn up the guitar just a little bit, but leave my voice where it is. Okay. All right. Let's just get going. We'll play a little bit, and then we'll do this. I've got to find the backing track I was going to play to start. I think this is it. And I'm choosing this because there's a lot of my favorite blues tricks in this one. Okay. Level seems okay. Thanks, Jesse. Good to hear it. Volume's good. Oh, not you, not yours. Got it. Had me confused there, Billy. I'm easily confused. You got to watch it for that. All right, here we go. All right, let's kick it off. There's a little jump blues type of thing. We'll see if I can do it decently. We'll see what happens. All right, just a little brief thing there, and to warm us up a little bit, and get to some of my favorite tricks. So my first favorite trick, I guess, is the cannot watch. You have to go. Think the world of your coaching. Okay, thanks, Sean. Download? No, I don't think you can download these YouTube videos, but you could certainly watch it later. You can watch it later. It's just a YouTube video, brother. You can watch it whenever you like. So not a problem. All right. So the reason why I exhibited some of that is the first trick I'll talk about is major minor. Now, we all know this one, and there's a lot of different ways that you can do this, playing with the major and playing with the minor. And one is just simply to go from one position and move yourself down 4 or up 3 frets. Okay. So, for example, this one happened to be in G. This one happened to be a blues in G. And one of the things that you could play would be the G minor pentatonic, right? Okay. You can move it down 3 frets and get the G major pentatonic. And it just gives a kind of interesting sound to it, especially if you're playing, I find, especially if you're playing major and then you switch to minor. And it gives a neat little sound. It's pretty easy and pretty obvious. And so that's the first little trick that we can do, which I think is, it works pretty well. I think many of you are probably familiar with that one. But there's an obvious sound. And so, for example, if you're playing the G major pentatonic or the G minor pentatonic, you've got this. And so that means that and one of the things that really helps is when you're going from the 1 to the 4 to do that. Because if you play something like this, check this out. Sorry. That's the major pentatonic. The G major pentatonic. So I could play that in the next position. And then if I move that up, you'll notice that has that right there. It fits really well for the 4 chord. So if I play this lick on the 1 chord, on the G, and then switch up to this on the C, it fits that C really well because I'm hitting a lot of those. Check it out. Let me play just a little bit and I'll show you what I mean. I'll try and play it on the 1 to the 4 and you'll hear it. See how it just fit really well right there? Going into that major, going into the minor on the 4 chord was really kind of a cool sound, right? And that's a standard trick that a lot of the players used to use a lot of the blues rock players. Leslie West used it a lot. Jimmy Page and Clapton used it a lot, and that is on the 4 chord, go to the minor scale, right? Okay. So that's the first obvious trick. There you go. Yep, that's exactly right. All right. Oh, okay, Gary, I didn't know that. You can download. You can download if you have a paid YouTube account. I did not know that. I didn't know that. Oh, hey, before we go on to the next trick, I just want to tell everybody, if you're on, first of all, thank you to all of the members who support me. It's the only way I can do this if I get support. So I do appreciate your support as members. If you'd like to support me in a different way, first of all, you can become a member today for 15% off. I always do that. I do that a lot on live streams. If you follow the live streams, you know. And today, through the end of November, we're going to be talking about triads quite a bit. That's one of my tricks that I like to use a lot. My course, Practical Triads, is 20% off today through the end of the month. So you can get that. Both of those links are in the description of the video. So there you go. And if you just want to support me, there's a link to PayPal, or you can give the super chats as well, the little bonuses. It's basically like a tip for me working on Sundays for you. But anyway, it is what I do. So the next trick I'm going to talk about is the string skip trick. And this is a trick that I like to use all the time. We'll be playing a bunch of different blues, so I'm just going to try and pick something that'll exhibit it. So what is a string skip trick? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like, right? If I'm playing let's play this in A. If I'm going to play an A blues, right? I can skip strings. I can play the regular minor pentatonic, but this works with every scale, okay? It works with any scale that you want, okay? And I literally just skip a string, so I can play. Not a lot of people do that, and it just gives a different sound to it. It just gives a different sound to the sound that you're trying to do. Not too many players do it. Another way that I like to do it in a blues context is this sort of lick. So what I'm doing there is I'm bending on that, which is our usual king bend, right, in the blues. You've heard that a zillion times. And instead of going to the, I just go straight to the. Yeah, probably you can't download till after it's recorded. You know, I'd be surprised. But anyway, I'm not a YouTube expert, so you got to ask a YouTube expert. I have no control over that stuff, what you can and can't download from YouTube. But you can always watch it, so that's not a problem. I guess if you got the internet. Okay, so that's a trick that I like to use, and it works really great. It's one of my favorite licks that I like to use. Let me see if I can do this on a. Thank you, Itzek. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Appreciate the tip. Let me see if I can do it in. I don't know. Let's try this one here. Yeah. Okay. Shotgun. So I could hear a lot of those string skips that I was doing there. And it doesn't just work in funk, it works for whatever groove you're doing. And so that's another one. That's another one that we can do, a little string skipping trick. I wish I could afford a Gibson Les Paul. Well, you know, Gibson Les Pauls are expensive. This one I picked up for $5.99. It is a tribute, and it is a studio. So if you don't care about the white strip around there, and if you don't care about the maple top and all the bling, you can pick up a Les Paul pretty inexpensively. Now, it's still a lot of money, $600, but it's not that much. But the first thing about getting guitars for less money is to not care so much about how they look, but care about how they play and how they sound. And, honestly, I got the studio not because of that, but because I really like a lighter guitar. And this is quite a bit lighter than a regular Les Paul. It's chambered, and it doesn't have the the 3/4 inch maple cap, which I don't think does anything for the sound. It makes it look cool, the quilted maple or whatever. It does make it look cool. I agree with that. All right, let's see. Let us. The other thing is, even though I do love my Gibsons. I got them a long time. Well, this one I got in 2012, but when I'm pointing back there as if it's there. It's not there. I got my 335 in '82, and I got my Melody. Thank you, Chris. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate the tips. I got my 335 in '82, and I got my Melody Maker, which maybe I'll bring out a little bit later. Not really a, yeah, shouldn't care how I look. It's a performance, right? All right. Not sure that works with that. A couple of women on here, maybe they can tell you how that works out. I don't know. I think you and me, brother, we have to. I know we're both this far away from getting through in life on our looks alone, but that's true. Be a blind man when you buy that guitar. All right, and so much is about how it feels, and for me, the weight is a big part of that feel. I just can't take the really heavy guitars anymore. All right, let me switch because I've got other guitars too. So let's try this Strat. You know what? I'm just going to leave that on, and we'll try this, and I'll put on a different. Maybe I should be careful about blaming the rock lock because I think I put it on this strap and not the other. But I did notice after 40 years that strap finally started giving way. So I don't know. Maybe it's coincidence because it's been a while. This is an even older strap. I don't like buying new straps, I guess. All right. Let me see if I can jack this up just a little bit more. All right, there we go. Oh, hey, Perry. You bet. Perry was one of our winners. Lucky winners for the guitar. I'm going to turn this up just a little bit. All right, the third one is the chord pentatonic trick. Now this one works not just for blues, it works for blues, rock, and all this kind of stuff. It doesn't matter what scale you're playing, but every once in a while it's nice to break up a solo by playing a little chord thing. Now you heard me playing, I like playing double stops a lot. I love playing that. That kind of stuff. I do love it. But it does take some knowledge of the fretboard, and so, not like that's super difficult or anything. It's not. But this next trick takes almost takes nothing to do it. And I'm going to turn it up just a little bit more. And there, that should be okay. This next trick takes just about nothing. to do it. And, oh, I see. Let's turn on that. Yeah, that's a little better. It almost takes nothing to do it, and it makes a solo sound pretty interesting. It's a good way to break up a solo if you have a longer solo that you have to do, that you have to play over. It's helpful. And that is to play chords in the middle. Let me get on to the, what amp is this? This is the Fender Tone Master Deluxe Reverb that I'm using right now. All right, and we're not talking about double stops either, like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something a little bit different. And for the person who asked me about the going up the neck scale, you know, the going up the neck scale, there's a lot of different ways you can do that. I'll tell you, my favorite way is to just use chords. I don't use scales. When I go up and down the neck, I'm almost always using chords. But you know, we'll do one of those right now. So here's a going up the neck scale, right? So this is, let's say we're playing some blues, and I'm playing, I could be playing whatever I'm playing, some single notes. I could be skipping the notes. You know, I could be doing that kind of stuff. And I just want to do something and move, I want to play some chords and maybe get to the 4 chord. So one way to simply do this, and it sounds really cool, is to simply use the minor pentatonic and just use as your guide the first string. So if you just know the notes of the minor pentatonic on the first string, like A, C, D, E, and then we've got, we're going to A, right? So it would be, what would it be, F? Or, no, it'd be F sharp. And then G. Actually, there would be none in there. It'd be E, G, and A, right? Yeah, so you just kind of play like this. You take any chord, doesn't even matter. It could be a weird chord, like a diminished. And you can just move it up. But my favorite chord, or you could take a 7th chord. And then just come back to it. Or another favorite is like a 6th sort of thing. And it sounds kind of cool. But you're basically just using as your guide the first string. Let me see if I can do something like that. I like it mostly in a jump blues setting, but it works in lots of settings. Let me see if I can do it in a shuffle blues in D. I don't know, maybe that'll work. Let's see if we can do it in a shuffle blues in D. I don't know, putting myself on the spot. I don't know, I don't like this. I didn't like that backing track, didn't dig it. Let's see if, let's find a better one. Okay, let's just try a slow blues in C. All right, so the slow blues in C, I think I have a slow blues in A somewhere. Let me look for it. You know what's in there. Blues, A blues slow. That's what I called it. All right, A blues slow. All right, let's listen to it for a second. Okay, so it's a regular A blues. trick I'm talking about, is that. And you can end wherever you want. You can use that to go up the neck. To play on the 4 chord. Right here I was playing an A, and I used it to move up to D. And what chord did I use? Well, like I said, it doesn't even matter much. In this case, I used what was called a 6/9 chord. What does that fit? Does that fit the blues? Is it? I don't know, but it and then I'm on that. And then I came back to the chord. All right, so that's that one. Now somebody is mentioning Stormy Monday. So this is one of my favorite tricks, and you can use it on anything. It doesn't have to. Well, I don't know about anything, but you can use it on a lot of blues. It doesn't have to be the Stormy Monday blues, and in fact, I did it in our opening. I did it on a blues that was very much not Stormy Monday, and I'll show you what I mean. I'll try and do it with a different guitar this time. Let me put a little juice on it. There we go. There's a little bit of juice. Okay, and yeah, let me do that first one, which was a blues in G, and turn it up a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to use a Stormy Monday trick on this one, and then I'll tell you what it is. Okay. And we'll do Stormy Monday. We'll do the chords. That's it right there. Again. Giant steps, yeah. Yeah, giant steps. So what I'm doing there is simply using the Stormy Monday chords, and I'm using it even though the rest of the band isn't playing it, okay? So what are the Stormy Monday chords? The Stormy Monday chords are, in a regular blues, what you've got, you know what? Let me just show it. Let me just show that blues, because why not? I'm gonna bring up the chart so you'll see what I'm talking about. Hold on a second. It takes a lot longer when I'm on a live stream to do anything on the computer because it's sharing resources. But let me open this up, and then we'll close it as soon as we can because it's a resource hog, almost as much as YouTube is. YouTube is the biggest resource hog. But okay, I think this will work. I hope it will. Voila, let's try. Oh, look at that. Okay. So the blues that I just played, now it doesn't have to be like this. The band doesn't have to play this, but what's going on is these are the Stormy Monday changes. Now I know that like purists around you or people who are familiar with the Allman Brothers will say, oh, there's other things in there. It should be a D augmented in one place, and there should be a A sharp or a A flat 7th chord or whatever. But these are the Stormy Monday changes that were introduced by Bobby Bland and then later taken by the Allman Brothers. If we look at it, it's all just a quick change blues up to here, right? Up to the 7th bar. This is just a straightforward blues, nothing else. But it's right here in the 8th bar that these are the Stormy Monday changes, where we'll go from, we go G, then we'll go B minor, B flat minor, and we do a 2-5, and that's where the jazzy sound comes in. We do a 2-5 before coming back to the 1 chord. 2-5s are all over jazz. So what that looks like is, you know, when we're playing, and let's pretend we're the Allman Brothers at the moment. So we'll play a G. And instead of playing majors, I'm going to play a 9th chord there, whatever, 9th, 7th. So they're all the same functioning chords. So those chords, it doesn't really make a difference whether you play a 9th or a 7th. Functionally, they'll function the same way. So the beginning chords are, you know, G, C, G, now we're going to bar 5, which would be C7 or C9. And now here's where it changes. It goes from G. Now, the Stormy Monday changes, they'll go to the 2 chord first, and then the 3, flat 3, and the 2, 5, 1. But you can introduce that when you're playing. When you're playing, you can play, you know, minor pentatonic. But over that bar, over that 8th bar, you can simply play B minor, B flat minor, and then A minor, D7, back to G. So this trick is to play the Stormy Monday changes, but what's different about it is this. It's not really a trick. It's not really a mental trick. What I showed you is a trick, but it's not really a trick. It's a method of playing. It's a way of thinking where you're not thinking about scales. You're thinking about the chords you're playing over. And you'll find that so many things are much easier when you think about the chords rather than scales you're playing over, including the major-minor stuff. But that's a different story. That's why talking about major-minor is always a little bit difficult for me, because I never do it anymore. I always just think about chords. I don't really consciously think of oh, I'm switching between minor and major, even though it can work really well. Nothing wrong with that. All right. Okay. So that's what's going on. And it doesn't have to be the Stormy Monday blues. Let me see if I can play it. Like, here's a fast blues in C, and I'll see if I can play the Stormy Monday thing. This is a different fast blues. It's kind of loud. Yeah, I got to turn it down. It's a little bit jazzy, though. It's got a walking bass, right? The hardest part about this is playing at the right time. Messed up. Sorry. Try this one more time. Sorry, that was terrible. anyway, we put a couple of those in there. We've tried to put a couple in there, but I wasn't ready for that backing track. Sorry about that. I should have played it once or twice too. But yeah, it's basically, you know, you're just putting in this case, if you're playing in C, you play an you know, an E minor arpeggio, and then which would be. I've really messed that up a couple of times. And then you end up on a D minor, right? Even if those chords aren't in there, it still works. It still works. All right. There was one other one that I put in there. It has to go from the 1 chord to the 4 chord. I was kind of bummed about my sound on here. It felt like it was too loud. I was trying to control it. Anyway, let us do one more. We'll do one more trick. We talked about the Stormy Monday trick. Oh, we'll talk about 2 more tricks. So my next trick, I'm going to pull a rabbit out of my hat. That trick never works. Okay. All right, cool one. Cool one is to, and this one's easy, or easier, okay? And the idea is to play triads, and it's very similar to the Stormy Monday, because instead of, one of the things that you can notice, I don't want to, this is maybe hard to see on the fretboard, so I'll get as close as possible. So if I take a, let's say I'm playing chords, let's say I play a C chord, right? And I've got, there's my triad right there. Oh, I should mention that my triad course is 20% off. There's a link in the description. You can get it today until the end of November. It's, or I think it's the end of November. It's 20% off. So there you go. Also 15% off membership today. But anyway, say we're playing a C triad there. Okay. And I could play a, that would be the 1 chord, right? And then I could play a D minor triad, right, like this. And it's just this chord, but I'm just playing on the D, G, and B strings. Now the interesting thing is that this chord right here is an F triad. You can check that out by seeing, you know, F triad would be F, A, and C. And here this is A, C, and F. So it's the same notes, but in a different order. But now I want you to notice something. If we take this F triad and we put a D on the bottom of it, that becomes a D minor. It was a Rocky and Bullwinkle reference. Fractured Fairy Tales. Oh yeah, for sure. So if I put a D bass on that, it becomes a D minor 7. It becomes a D minor 7. So the Stormy Monday trick was which was to go to the 3 chord, and the 3 chord, the flat 3, and then play the 2, 5, 1, D minor. It actually was kind of like, and I know for some folks it's going to be hard to realize this, but if I put on my F major, if I put a D bass on there, it becomes essentially a D minor 7 chord. I can do the same thing with this chord, with the E, with the G major. If I put the E bass note, it becomes a D minor chord, E minor 7 chord. Sorry, I'm misspeaking here. And that's always true. If I take any sort of major chord, a triad of a major chord, and I move it down 3 frets, I get a minor 7, like the C. If I take the A and I put a bass on the A, or I put a bass on that C, I get an A minor 7. So if I reverse think this, now I'm going to reverse the thinking on this. Instead of playing E minor, E flat minor, and D minor, what if I just played a G triad, which is the 4 chord, a flat G, or G flat, I mean, and then an F. that would kind of give me the same Stormy Monday changes. I could just play the 4, 3, and 2 at that point. Not the 4, 3, and 2. The 5, flat 5, and 4 chords. In other words, the normal chords of the blues. So I don't even have to think really outside the box. I can just play the normal chords of the blues and get there. And I'll show you what I do. I mean, it makes it easier because then I don't have to think in minors and majors. I just think in majors. So if I do that same thing, I'll try and do that over that fast blues again. It's a little bit difficult. But this time I'm just going to play, this time over that key thing, I'm just going to play a G flat, and an F. Instead of like E minor, E flat minor, D minor. It's all weird to me in the blues, but if I'm playing a C blues, G and F are in there, man. It's not hard for me to think of. Right? Some lower triads, Willie. There you go. Trying to kill two birds with one stone. But you see, to me, that's a lot easier to think about it that way. To think about it, I'm just playing the 4 chord and the flat 4 chord to get to that, to get back to my, or the 5 chord, the flat 5 chord, and then the 4 chord. In other words, just a regular blues. I'm just playing G, G flat, and then F to get to that F chord. It just sounds easy, right? That's easier. And yeah, maybe the Stormy Monday. Maybe it sounds a little more jazzy. But so what? You know, you don't always have to sound jazzy. I think, you know, sounding bluesy is good too. All right. Anyway, to me, that works really great. I just love that. I just love doing that thing. And you can overdo it, obviously. All right. Well, one of the things that you notice when you're doing that is if you connect the 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4 triads all the time. Or why am I saying 1, 3, 4? 1, 4, 5, 1, 4, 5, 1, 4, 5 triads all the way going up. That's a great way to traverse the neck. And so, for example, if I just play a C, then an F, then a G, then a C, then an F and a G, then a C, then an F and a G, I'm all the way up here from here. And all the way there. And you can do that as you're going up, and it sounds pretty cool. So let me get back to that. I'm going to get back on my Les Paul because I'm digging that one. I was playing it all this morning. I got to get used to using the standby. There we go. I got to get used to using the standby. And then after this we'll just improvise a bit. I can't believe it's been about an hour here, but anyway, let me turn this down now. Oh man, listen to that sustain on this thing. You can go out, have a bite, come back, it's still going, whoa. All right, there we go. Let's see if we can play, I don't know, let's just play something here. And I'm going to use triads this time. Hey, Robert, how you doing? I'll use triads just to kind of move up and down the neck when I want to. And you see, I mean, if you can use that sort of thing, you get used to it after a while of like... You get used to moving up. Up and down on das neck. All right, let's just start playing some stuff. I don't know, sexy, mellow blues and C. We'll play another major blues. Slow 12/8 blues in C major. I don't know. How about this blues? All right, so this is a R&B-ish sort of blues, and I'll try and play some triad moves in this one. Okay. Also in the key of C. All right, that's what I get for trying to use triads for everything. Some bad sounding things there because I wasn't sure what chord I was on. But you know. much better. And I didn't play with any backing. The backing tracks are screwing me up. But just trying to play the chords. And you know, that's really helpful to just know the triads all over. And yes, Willie, you really do need to know the triads on at least 3 string sets to make them useful. You really need to know them on the G, B, and E. You really need to know them there. And certainly on the D, G, and B strings, if you want to use triads, you got to know them there because that's the most important. And then I find that the A string, the D string, and the G string are very helpful too. So they can help you play things like a... There you go. So that was using all of those triad sets. And you can see how easy it is to kind of move around the fretboard if you can see and visualize those triads. And they are pretty easy. All right, anyway, triads are a great one. All right, so let's just play a little bit, you know? Let's play a little bit. And 32 ways to play any triad. And yeah, but you know, don't get too crazy about it. You say there's 32 ways, but just take 3 strings at a time, and there's only 3 ways. Okay, if you take just 3 strings at a time, there's only 3. And you know, you could say that up here is a different one, but it's really the same as this, right? Had trouble playing that, had to bend to it. All right, let's get a, let's play a little blues. Yeah? Okay. Okay. We'll bend off a little bit. Let's play a minor blues. I haven't played any minor yet. Oh, this is a good one, okay? Oozing Blues in B minor. Why always adding the intervals? I don't get it. Why? Just triads. Leave it at triads. Why do you want more? Leave it at triads. Intervals will come. Most of the intervals, or many intervals, will come from learning the triads, right? If I play parts of a triad, I get an interval. And so, for example, I never think of thirds and sixths anymore. I don't. Because if I take this G triad, simple G triad, sorry, I was going to start that, but it just bothers me that you want to add something in there. Learn simple things. Keep your things simple. I don't know why I was bothered. Of course it's fine to learn intervals, but suppose you take this triad, this G, right? If I play the top 2 strings, I get a third. If I play the bottom string and the top string, I get a sixth. So instead of learning that there are sixths and there are thirds or whatever, just learn where the G's are. Here's another G triad. And so you can play... Sorry. You know? And you don't have to like focus on like, oh, I got to learn all these thirds or fourths or whatever. Anyway, it just makes your life a lot easier. So just stick with the triads. All right, let's play the blues again. Let's go back to Oozing Blues. Mike Murillo, just for you, I'm going to play the key notes. There you go. One more time. All right, so we want to know the progression, and I'm only half figuring it out, right, because I'm listening to it. But it's basically a B minor blues, okay? So we're playing a blues in B minor, and this is why, to me, this like scales are great, but if you can hear the chords, it's even better. So it's a B minor blues, but the first progression is not that. It goes from B minor to E. Okay, and then B minor to E. There's where Tall Paul is right about it's like breathe, right? That's what it is. It's like breathe. But then it changes a little bit. It goes G to F sharp. Now, what's different about that is, and I'm a little bit out of tune here. Too much bending, right? When you play the blues, you got to bend. Robert Cray, I went to see him a couple of weeks ago. Oh, it's the A string. That's weird. Must be changing temperature today. Close enough. All right, so what goes on, and this is sort of like the Dire Straits too, right? So if we're playing right, that's well known in like flamenco music, and so we're playing from the sixth chord, the minor, right? 5, 4, and then instead of playing the 3 as a minor, we play as a major. So the one note that stands out is this. It's that B flat. And so the way that I learned this eons ago was I learned that this is not minor scale, it's harmonic minor, because when you go to this, it's that G sharp that's in there, or it's not the G sharp, I learned it in A minor. In which case it's the E. It's the major third of that weird chord, in this case, which is an F sharp. So the major third of an F sharp would be B flat or A sharp. So that's the note right there. That's the note right there that we really want to care about and we want to hit. Now, the way I learned it was you alter the minor scale and you play that instead. So I learned it as a different scale. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. You can play different things with it. But the thinking was always kind of weird because I would just sort of play the scale and I would not think about what I was doing. But here, if you know the chords, I'll finish the Robert Cray story. Sorry, Michael. If you know the chords that are being played over, it's almost always the third of the chord. That's the keynote. So instead of thinking about scales all the time, just think about the chords and think for playing thirds. So when I'm playing, and I'll play one more chorus of this and you'll see, when I play to that E, because E is not, in a minor blues, you'd expect it to be an E minor, right? But here it's an E major. So I play that third. And it really sticks out. It really sticks out. And same thing with that F sharp. That's the weird chord. So I play the third of that chord and it really sticks out. All right, the Robert Cray story. So he used a different guitar he only had 2 guitars, but he used a different guitar for every single song. He would play his song, then he would take it off, bring the next guitar on, and he would play that. And then once he played that off, he'd take it off, play the previous guitar, put that on. And what was happening was his tech was tuning every single time. He was bending it out of tune on every single one. That's how it is. All right, and the 7th. Well, again, we want to add stuff, but the third is the key one there. That we're, of course, of course 7ths are important too. You can play those for sure. One of the reasons why 7ths are really good is because they lead you to the 3. So for example, let's talk about that. So here I'm playing a B minor, right? What's the 7 of B minor? The flatted 7 of B minor, the minor 7, is A. Okay, the next chord is E. What's the third of E? It's right here, A flat or G sharp. It's right next to it. That's why 7ths and thirds are really good to know, because they lead to each other really easily. Like this. You heard me do that a ton of times, right? And that sounds very Pink Floydish, right? Doesn't it? Yeah, it's just one leads right into the others. That's why people call them guide tones, is because they guide each other. All right? You'll always find they're next to each other. It's pretty cool. All right, so we'll do it just one more time through. See right there. Do little doodads around all that stuff, but it's really just revolving around 1 or 2 notes. So you can play whatever you want as long as you play those 2 notes. One more. it's cool, right? Anyway, that to me is what I like. If I follow the chords, that's what I particularly like. And if you listen to really good players and fusion-y players, Mike Marola, I know you love fusion-y players. Yeah, they might tell you they're playing this scale and then they're playing this scale. It's a mixolydian, blah blah blah. It's kind of true, but I guarantee they're thinking about how the chords are moving through it. And I'm not a great jazz player. I'm a rock player who applies some of this stuff. So I think in slow motion. So I can only think of like a couple of different things. What am I up to tonight, Wayne? Well, here I am, brother. All right. Let me just play a few more here. I want to play a slow. I just played a minor blues. All right. Yeah, let's play clean. And yeah, let's play some New Orleans stuff. Here's a little funky New Orleans. It's funky, but we'll play the chords first. E7. Here we go. C sharp minor 7. And then back. Okay. So what's going on there? A couple of people have asked me to explain the chords first before I play. So I'm going to do it this time. So what's going on there? So we're basically playing a funk groove, right? We're playing. Turn this down. Okay, so that's just a groove, like an E7 chord, or I could play a ninth. Play all that stuff, right? But then when we go into the weird part, it's like. Yeah, what is it? It's. Okay, so this is just like a, let's say an A major 7th, a G sharp minor, and a F sharp minor. And I'm playing them as minor 7ths. And then this is my favorite chord ever. This is a A, but we're taking the bass and we're making it a B. So this is an A with a B bass. I think of it as a suspended second chord. That's cool. Okay, and then we're playing that C sharp minor. All right, so, and then eventually it comes back, it does it again, but then after you do the, now it goes back to that funky stuff. Okay, so here's the thinking. When we're playing this kind of stuff, we're playing major 7ths and minor chords. This is just a little tip. Whenever you see minor chords in there, it's going to have a strong sense of the key. So in this case, the key is E major, okay? Or you can think of it as C sharp minor as well. And over those chords, you're going to have to play something that's going to be, it's going to feel like the key that it's in, E major or whatever. But when it goes to this E7, now Willie, now the 7th, the flatted 7th is going to be important because that's a dominant chord. And now you've got all sorts of choices. You could play E Mixolydian, you could play E Dorian, you could play the good old E blues scale, you know. So it's a good example of just major minor thinking by whoever composed this. You're going from a minor pentatonic to a major pentatonic. So whenever you hear that minor chord come in, the key change there, I'm going to go to a major, and you'll hear it. The first time through, I'll just play major and minor pentatonic. I won't do anything fancy, and then I'll do a little bit more and just have a little fun with it. Back to our minor pentatonic. Now I'm just going to have some fun. There you go. There you go. All right. So that's kind of cool. Let's see. Let's play a seductive blues funk. I don't know. What do you think? I think we need the Strat for that. Let's get out the Strat. Am I going to do some Hendrix style? Yeah, sure. I'll do some Hendrix style. How about that? We'll do some Jimmy style. We'll do it right after the seductive blues. No, maybe we'll do it now. Glad you asked. Let's do some of that stuff. Oh, by the way, I got these new fancy green picks. Isn't that amazing? They're super small. They're a little bit too fat for me right now, so I got to get used to them. But I like them. I like the size. They're about the same as Jazz 3s for my. Let's doctor this up. Let's put a little modulation on. All right, let's see if we can play a, I forget what it's called. Let's see, Chill Soulful Groove. Maybe this is it. This isn't blues. Jim, how to contribute again? You can either, best way is to become a member. There's 15% off. It's all in the link in the description. You can buy the Triads course. That's great too. Or you can just tip me via PayPal. That's great. Really appreciate everything. Or if you want to, you can give a super chat right here on YouTube, a super chat or super sticker. But there's a lot of people who don't do that, and that's fine. Those are the best ways. I appreciate it. All right, let's get back to the Hendrix style. Yeah. Just a backing track. It's a cool one. I'm going to turn it down a bit. Ah, cool, cool. Love that stuff. All right, let's play a little funk. Let's play a little funk. Oh, I don't know about this one. I don't know. What do you think? Let's play a little minor. How about this? Blues Ain't Never Gonna Die. Sounds good. I think this is in C minor. Hendrix one was A to E to D. It's all major. I like playing that one. It's fun. It's fun. I'm digging this Strat today. I got to tell you, this is a G&L. I told the story of this one before. I gave it away, and it came back to me. Somebody just brought it back to my doorstep. Good case of what goes around comes around. Gave it to a friend of mine, and I gave it in earnest. I gave it to him to keep, and I did love the guitar, and he gave it to me back, which was lovely. So I gave him another guitar. I gave him a Telly, which I also liked a lot. But yeah, the Hendrix one was kind of like. It was too short. All right, well, we'll play something else. How about a little bit of, how about, I gotta change guitars, but how about a little bit of this? We'll play a little Stormy. We'll play some Stormy Monday, because why not? And then we'll just play some blues, and then we'll say goodbye. Rise from Great Rhythms. Yeah, you know it. You know it, Roy. You know it. Okay, we'll play the Stormy Monday in C. Okay, let's play it this time. There we go. All right. There's his little Stormy. Okay, I'll tell you what, folks. Let me play this one out. I feel like playing with the Strat today. I'm feeling it on the Strat. I'm digging it. And let me just play one out with a nice chill vibe. And we'll do it on the Strat. The Blue Strat. The Blue Strat. Not my Squire Strat, which I also love. I love the neck on that one, but I'm digging the tone on this one lately. And we'll see what we can do. There we go. Thanks, Dennis. Appreciate it. Let's play one more and we'll be done. Yeah, it's almost 2 o'clock. So, I don't know. Slow, sexy, mellow blues. Sexy? Sexy's good. I don't know. It's not the first thing you think of, I think, for me. Okay, yeah. Why not? Good. We got this. Last time. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in today. Really appreciate it. Appreciate all the tips, and hope I'll just mention one more time that you can support me by becoming a member. 15% off today, and thanks, buddy. And 20% off on the triads course if you want to get that. All right, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. On this. Another few minutes, another minute or two. Hey, Jim. All right, see you folks. See you folks. Jim, you joined at the very end, buddy. The rake I keep playing. All right, it's this. Old Stevie trick, right? So, so the Stevie trick is just take a C minor, right? C minor, minor 7. And you're going to hammer on the 3rd string as you're raking up. And then when I hit this string, I just pull off and play this. Really cool effect. Dig it. Anyway. All right, see ya, everybody. I'm bluesed out. I got to go for a walk, and well, it's still some sun out. All right, everybody, happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you later. What goes through my head, Roy? You don't want to know. No, it's just I'm trying to think of. You know what? I'll stop playing and I'll just talk a little bit. If you have questions, I'll hang for a little bit. Sip some coffee if I've got some coffee. I'm going to turn off the amp. Goes through my head. So what doesn't go through my head is I'm going to play minor pentatonic now. Now I'm going to play major pentatonic. Now I'm going to play mixolydian. Now I'm going to play Dorian. That doesn't go through the head. And anytime it does, my playing stinks. So what does go through my head is I'm trying to listen and trying to understand what the harmony is. And I'm listening to the drums, you know, kind of similar to what you were saying. If the beat is right, you get it. And I'm trying to come up with ideas that I think will sound good, like stuff like that. And then, you know, to the extent I can do that, I'll play it on the guitar. So it's really hard for me to not do this, but I got to stop because I gotta spend some time with my daughter who's home from college. But that's what's going through my head. I'm really trying to vocalize or think about what I want to make come out on the guitar in terms of the sound. So one of the things I used to do, I should do it more when I practice, is just to listen to a backing track or listen to a song and try and sing a solo to it. You know, it's hard. Maybe I'll hum. Let's get the front. Then rest. My voice needs to rest. All right, so, you know, to the extent that that was a decent sounding solo, I don't know, my voice is really cracked right now, but that's what goes through my head when I'm trying to solo. And I know people don't like when I say that, but you know, the more that you can get it to be like that, the better your playing will be. And when I can't do that, when I'm running out of ideas, I'll just start playing scales. And to me, when I listen back, I'm like, oh, that's where I lost the thread. That's where I stopped thinking about what I was doing. That's where I stopped trying to create something. I can almost always hear it. Now, I do try and start slow and get a little bit faster over time. So if I know I have like 3 or 4 choruses, or in these backing tracks, I've got like 10 choruses, right? So I'll start to think about that, and you inevitably fall into some pattern play when you start to play fast. That's how we play fast, is we play patterns that we know and play over the fingers. But anyway, that's what's going on. And I never noticed this before, but somebody pointed it out to me. I never thought about it this way before. But when you make ugly faces, and I make a ton of ugly faces when I play, that's me singing when I play. That's what it is. I'm not making sounds, but yeah, definitely, definitely Michael Schaefer Bloomfield was always doing that, always singing, and he was one of the best for sure. One other thing I realized that just last week, that years ago, years and years and years and years ago, see, I'm not quite old enough to have seen that whole thing happen. So I didn't see Mike Bloomfield playing with Bob Dylan, right, on Maggie's Farm. And I didn't see him playing with the Electric Flag or with Butterfield. And I didn't see Hendrix. I didn't experience that till I was older, and that was in the 70s. So, and by then Mike Bloomfield was not popular, right? So I didn't hear about Mike Bloomfield till after he had died, really. I mean, I'd heard about him, but I didn't really listen to him. Same with Peter Green. I listened to Fleetwood Mac, but Fleetwood Mac to me was rumors, right? Which I also like, but that's a different story. Fleetwood Mac with Black Magic Woman and all that stuff is totally different. But anyway, that's what I learned. And then when I just learned that when somebody told me Peter Green was great, and so I looked him up, I realized that I was listening to Wine from the Electric Flag. And I thought, boy, this Peter Green is an amazing player, but it was Mike Bloomfield. I just realized that this week when I was DJing, and I put on Wine from the Electric Flags album. I can't remember what it's called, but it's their one album that has Killing Floor in Texas. It's a great album if you don't have it. It's an amazing album. Mike Bloomfield plays great. I think Al Cooper produced it. It's great stuff. And I just realized that was the song Wine by the Electric Flag with Mike Bloomfield that I thought was Peter Green. And I've thought Peter Green, I still do think Peter Green was a great player, but I always thought he was a great player because of that, and it was Mike Bloomfield. Go figure. Gary, thank you so much. Yeah, Leslie West would do stuff like that as well. I think Jim C's a little bit behind on the watching. I'm guessing because the comments are coming. It keeps going across. All right, long time coming thank you. Long time coming. Thank you, Michael. Thank you. Yeah, what a great album, right? What a great album. I play that all the time on the blues show that I run. By the way, if you don't know, I DJ a blues show. Unfortunately, it's not streaming, but Wednesdays, or it's streaming, but it only streams live. Wednesdays at 10 a.m., and you can call in. It's wicb.org, and they'll have the number and the information on that. WICB, Ithaca Broadcasting, I guess, wicb.org. And it's at the local college. We just finished number 3 in the country. We are number 3 station in the country for independent stations. So I'm really, it's all right, Michael. It's all good. Number 3. So this year, and it's the 5th year in a row that we've finished in the top 5. So anyway, I was really happy about that. And my boss gave me a bonus at WICB, which means I got an attaboy. Because I get paid 0, so the bonus is I got a shirt and I got an attaboy. Traffic was great. Traffic was awesome. Traffic was great. But it's pretty interesting for me, at least for blues, the thing that really made the difference was the first time I really heard Freddie King. And I didn't know how much the English blues players and Hendrix and stuff like that and Robin Ford and that took from those guys. And I mean, Freddie took a lot from BB too. He was younger and took his name right to the King. I don't think he was actually named King. Same with Albert King, but yeah. But it was sorry about that. It was all really good. And the first time I heard Freddie King was "Woman Across the River," that album, and I thought, wow, this guy's incredible. Did he get some of this stuff from Clapton? I didn't know. But that was the first time I really heard somebody just like putting it all out there for the blues. Not it didn't. It was so the opposite of scales to me. When I listen to Freddie and I listen to BB and Albert, and a lot of those are like Otis Rush is another guy. I don't ever hear scales from them. I just hear I hear. It feels like they're just trying to get out what's in their head. And I said that's what I want to do, and to the extent that I can do it, I owe it all to them, for sure. Yeah. So anyway, that's all great. What other questions you guys got? I think I am going to take off at this point, but you can see I could talk forever on this stuff and watch you guys talk together too. I see you're enjoying the conversation you're having together as well, which is always fun. It's kind of why I like to kind of play in the background too. We've still got 45 people on this one, and which is really cool. And I've now had 1,000 views, so that's kind of a lot for my broadcasts here. But anyway, I'm going to call it a day. I'm so thankful for all of you being on. Let me just single out Chris and Itzik. Thank you so much. But all the members, thank you so much for becoming members. It really means a lot to me, and it helps me keep doing this stuff. So I really appreciate you. And if you just came by to say hello and to hear a little blues and to learn a little bit, I appreciate you as well. Thanks for coming on, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And if you are out of the country and you are out of U.S. and you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, I'm thankful for you as well. And just be happy Thursday. Have a great week. All right. We'll see you all next time we see you.